Thoughtless, casual gaming. Thoughtless, casual gaming. Thoughtless, casual gaming. Thoughtless, casual gaming.
Did I not tell you were doing the intro?
Oh no, am I doing the intro? I was going to say this is usually the part where you speak.
Oh, okay.
I reckon. I wonder if I could nail it. I'm not even sure.
All right, give it a go.
Hang on, with absolutely zero prep time. Hello, you're listening to Thoughtless Casual Gaming with Brett and Jace. We're a Geelong game-based gaming podcast thing. No, I can't nail it. It's not going to happen.
Was that thoughtless casual gaming?
I don't know. There was too much thinking involved.
Yes, you are listening to Thoughtless Casual Gaming, and
I mean, you're not anymore.
no,
not after that.
Probably people switched off in the 20 seconds of silence on something we had at the start. But anyway,
that's how we should start every podcast.
Well, I was gonna do it anyway, and then you turned the cameras off, and I thought, now he's not going to be able to see me just not doing anything.
I was literally doing that. Have we dropped out? Is that what's happened here? Are you just playing funny buggers? I don't know. But anyway,
a little from column A, a little from column B. Anyway, it's been a little bit since our last episode, so figured we'd just do a bit of a catch up, see what's what sort of an episode. Nothing special. You can tune out now.
I mean, you've just summed up every single one of our episodes with the term "nothing special."
Yes, that's true. But since I don't think have we really talked sort of purchases since Christmas?
Nah.
No.
Can anyone afford purchases since Christmas? But anyway,
well, we've had Christmas and we've had your birthday and my birthday.
I know, right?
So surely there's a bit to talk about there. So have you gotten your hands on anything new, Jace?
Did we do things? Yes, we did do things since my birthday, so that doesn't count. All right. What have I done since then? Look, honestly, I've been, I will say, exceptionally well behaved. I think there's two pieces really feeling that. One is just the absolute cost of living and the bullshit times that we are currently living in. The other one is, so right before we did Why So Serious last year, good friend of the show, Jared, was moving sort of house, and he didn't have somewhere for his 3D printer to live. And so I'm like, oh, well, if you want, you can store it at my place, and as just, storage fees, I'll use it a bit. How's that sound? And that worked really well. And
when you say a bit, are we talking like using it once, or are we talking about it running constantly 24 hours since he
everything I did for Why So Serious?
Yes.
That was done on his.
Yep.
So look, I used it a bit. The difference here is it's about 3 times the size of mine. So the ability to print more and to print bigger stuff is vastly improved. And what's happened since then is he's actually said, oh, I've got a spot for it now, and can I have it back, please? And I had to relinquish possession.
Said, I'm sorry, who are you? And
yeah, no, I avoided his calls for a long time. New phone, who dis, a whole lot of that for a whole long time. But I've gone back to my little printer, which has done the job for the last however long. But it hurts my soul to go to a third of the space that I just got used to. So I have basically resigned myself to the fact that I'm going to need to upgrade. And so a lot of my hobby funds are currently being set aside in preparation for that, hefty purchase.
Yep. How hefty are we talking?
Depends how silly of an upgrade I want to go, but I'm probably talking about $700.
Okay. Okay.
So, it's not excessive, but we're only February.
Yep.
So that's kind of where that is. So I suppose the couple of bits and shits are beyond that, because that is still probably a week or two away from ordering. Everything's picked out. We just kind of wait for the sale and wait for everything the stars to align.
There's got to be a sale, right?
There's always a sale. It's the best. I need sale. I need free shipping. I need, a few other bits and these stars to align, but that's happening. So that's on the cards in the not too distant future. And that's kind of hampered a lot of my just impulse spending. I've been pretty, more considered than I would have normally. The couple of things I couldn't help myself grabbing is always more paint. That's a thing. But I also picked up a copy of the game Pandemic. Which,
okay.
I think it's a 2 to 4 player board game. I played years ago and had a blast. It's a co-op board game where basically you and the other players are trying to stop global pandemic.
Yep. I have never played the board game, but I have played like an Xbox equivalent. Yes. So I know it reasonably a bit.
Yeah.
In the fact that I played it once or twice.
Yeah, and that's all I did forever ago. And I remember it being fun, so I picked that one up. I remember it being it's co-op, which is a good thing when you have overly competitive family and friends. And it's actually pretty hard, but it's fun. So it's one of those ones that's not a surefire win. The more things happen, the more the virus kind of spreads kind of deal. Look, it's a little bit close to home given the last couple of years we've had, but it was a fun game.
COVID edition.
Yeah.
There is a legacy edition, which I believe is one of those ones like sort of Gloomhaven where as you play, your characters level up in such a way or stakes get higher or things like that. I'm guessing just went for the standard.
Yeah, I just went for the bog standard one. It's one of those ones that I'm looking for a couple of games that I can just bang out with people that don't normally play, and not ones that I have to really like. There's nothing worse than showing up and someone saying, "Hey, I want to play a game," and then spending most of the night reading the rule book.
Yes, agreed.
And I really dislike the pressure of being the person who has to know how the game works when I'm not confident how the game works. So,
and when you're the person that owns the said game,
it's expected.
It's kind of on you.
Yeah, which is fair. So I figured, let's keep it simple.
Yep.
Look, that's probably the massive, major things I've been purchasing over the last however long. I've been, there's a couple of records here and there, and some other bits and shits, but no, that's probably the hobby stuff. As I said, I'm kind of holding out for the new printer at the moment.
Jeez, we are two different people, aren't we? Because I've got a list, and
yeah, but are you saving for a new printer?
I'm not saving for a new printer.
So your printer funds have just been.
I mean, I rely on you for my printering goodness.
Everything works.
Like with the birthday, the wife had no idea what to get me. I had no idea what she could get me. 3D printer was one of the things I was tossing up in my head, but couldn't justify the cost. So
yeah,
maybe one day I'll get my own, but it's not going to be anytime soon.
It's a value effort thing, right?
Yep. How much will I get out of it if I have it, and how much will I just print dodgy shit that I'm not going to paint or use?
That is a risk.
Yeah,
we will get to the printing bit in a minute because I purchased those.
All right, cool. So, well, I've gotten my hands on a few things recently. I have a list here. I had to write a list. So, first of all, there's been a lot of talk in the Discord about Kill Team, and Kill Team has been gaining traction. And even talking to the manager at the local G-Dub, Kill Team seems to be getting quite a bit of a surge in popularity, which is kind of cool. It's kind of cool to have something different, something not 40k or Age of Sigmar. where you have to
Absolutely.
mortgage your house.
And look, the good news here is I actually like the 40K lore background universe stuff.
Yes.
I just don't want to play the full scale game. So
No.
give me a little scale.
Yeah, look, there was, like I said, there was a lot of talk, and I was like, well, I've got a whole heap of old, Chaos Marine stuff, and I've got a Necron army. I could do a Chaos kill team, surely. And I got my models out, and I had a look at them. I'm like, I'm not keen. They're very old models, and I was like, they're not exactly what I want. And so I had a look, and it was going to cost like $110 to get like a Chaos kill team that with all the bells and whistles and the good-looking models and all the rest of it. So I went into GDub and I had a chat with Elliot there, and he pointed me onto the kill team box, which was $120.
It's a bargain.
Oh my God, for GW, that is a huge bargain. That is 2 teams, all the rule books and bits and pieces that you need to play the game. And I was like, oh, never going to play Imperial Guard, but I could do Orcs. So I ended up buying that and palming off the Imperial Guard onto Ant, which I think is the thing to do in the
that is now what you do. Yeah. If you want something but you don't want all of it, you just buy it and Ant buys the rest. It's great.
Yes. No, that's good. So I got that. I also picked up the other day. I would wave it in front of the camera, but you can't see. Colossus and Magic for Crisis Protocol. In the that I'm not playing the game an awful lot at the moment, but still want to get my hands on all the X-Men type thing.
Yep.
And then the other day happened at work where 3 things came in that I was not expecting, and the number of things came in that I was expecting but didn't know when they were coming in, and they all came in at once. Which is always the way. So I picked up for Zombicide, and I was upset that I didn't jump on this. It wasn't a Kickstarter, but it was one of those jump on the CMON website and pre-order things. But it was the 3 boxes of minis that you can use for Zombicide or numerous other games, and they're all Eddie from Iron Maiden. Various states and forms. There's Pharaoh Eddie, there's Stranger in a Strange Land Eddie, Live After Death Eddie, and the minis are typical come on minis. They're just pretty. So all 3 of those boxes came in, and I can't get one and not the others.
Oh, that would basically be a waste.
It would. So they all came home with me. Plus, on the same day, a couple of the 2 expansions for the Aliens Another Glorious Day in the Core game came in. So one of them is Get Away From Here, You Bitch, which has an alien queen. It has Ripley and the Power Loader. It comes with Bishop, and it also comes with another model, which is half of Bishop. And extra missions.
Can you play as?
I don't know.
Can you play as half of Bishop?
I only unpacked it. Yeah.
That is the character I want.
Yes, I know, right? So, I mean, he's there in all his milky goodness. Got he's not painted or anything, but milky. You can imagine the milk.
Absolutely.
So that came in, as well as Ultimate Badasses, which is like the other 6 characters from the film. So, Webowski and Drake and Carter Burke. So you can play as all of those. So I got that. I got both of those. And then another pack of models came in, which is just minis for the game. So little computer terminals and little, storage boxes, as well as little alien eggs and face huggers. So I had to get that.
I mean, you're in for a penny at this point in time. You might as well, right?
I know. So got all of those. So I'm ready for another game of Aliens.
Okay.
All right. Continuing on the board game line,
Yes.
Marvel Zombies. So
Mm.
we had a game set here. A little couple of friends together for my birthday, and so I picked up a Sinister Six expansion for that.
Mhm.
There's a
Mm.
story in that. Yeah, I know. I still stand by. I was in the right. Anyway,
Incorrect.
no, you would. I don't blame you. I do
Good.
not blame you. So, like, for the backstory, for those that don't know, Jason Moose had decided to get me that because it was at work, and Alice knew that was the one I wanted. So
Yeah.
she had messaged you guys or something. I don't know what the
So the way
story.
this had played out is Moose and I were tossing up what the hell to nab you for your birthday, and I went, you know who will know? I'll message Alice. Alice will have ideas, and she did have ideas. She had several ideas, and the one that really jumped out, she goes, "Look, he's got the Marvel Zombies. We knew we were going to be over there and playing it and stuff." And the box that he didn't order that he really wanted was the Sinister Six box, and we have one at work.
Yep.
And I'm like, right, well, I can make this work. So she felt terrible. We put her through days of pain because she's like, well, I can go and put it away for a customer that doesn't exist because the customer is me, and then I can buy it and bring it to the night and it will be fine. And I said, that's great. And then she's messaging me. So she's done this. She's put it away for a customer. And
it was interesting because I had sort of put it behind the desk for myself. And then I come back from lunch and she informs me that somebody rang up asking for it. I'm like, oh, that makes sense because we've had inquiries about it and all the rest of it. And I'm like, oh, well, fair enough. Okay. You can take my copy, I suppose.
Yeah. And she then proceeded to message me and tell me about the sad puppy dog eyes that she'd been getting for the whole rest of the day, and how this was weighing on her conscience. And you know that, what is it? The poem about the heartbeat in the floor?
Telltale Heart.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, there was one of those moments going on for Alice.
Yep. Oh, yeah, no, I gave her shit. I'm like, why'd you give them my copy? Anyway, but I looked it up, and at head office, like, they, with these sort of things, they sort of test the waters a bit. And so they'll get a couple of copies in to see how well it sells. And then if it sells well, they'll keep ordering it in. But they got 2 copies, one of which was the one that was now aside for this mystery customer. And then there was one other left at head office.
Mm.
So I simply messaged one of my people at head office and said, hey, this has gone on hold for somebody. Can you send me the other one ASAP? Because I needed to pick it up that day. And she's like, yeah, absolutely, I can do that. No problems. So I did that. And I don't know how Alice expected a customer putting our copy on hold to stop me. That was the bit that got me.
The commentary she had to me was that it was the only one in the store. So she assumed, so she assumed removing one of one meant there was none of one, and it was therefore impossible.
And all it took was a couple of hours and one message to head office, and then I had another copy in my hands.
So look, the moral of the story here is, when it is the week of the birthday, you are not allowed to buy anything. They're the rules.
Well, that's normally the rules. Yes, I get that. But A, I didn't expect you guys to get me anything. And B, we were playing that game, and so I wanted the options.
Because the 8 billion other options
exactly
Kickstarter were not enough.
There were another 6 or 7 or whatever, however many models are in that one. Anyway, so that was the thing.
Many things happened, yes.
But what you guys so nicely got me instead was the Fantastic Four expansion for zombies. So now I have all of the zombies that I wanted.
because I think the only other one that they had was the Guardians one. And I'm like, yeah, he's not going to want that.
Yeah, no, I've looked at it a couple of times since. So,
I mean, just in the full Pokemon style right now, it's just like, well, I have them all.
And that one's got Thanos, and that's really the only interest. But anyway, no. Let's leave that. Further on that line, though, and I didn't tell you this, but you know how sometimes, what is it, GameFound does Kickstarter like re-releases?
Oh, yes.
Or something like that?
Yes.
So they did Masters.
I did know that. So have you gone Grayskull?
No, not Grayskull. I wanted Snake Mountain. So
yes, okay.
which is all of the Snake Men. And I went through the models and like every single character in that box. And it was a Kickstarter exclusive box, but every single character I have at least an Origins action figure here, if not the original. And that was the one I wanted. And so I tried logging into GameFound and then reset my password because I hadn't been in there for God knows how long.
Ever. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Google kicked me out and said, no, we don't want you to go into this website. And it gave me some bullshit reason about, like, it was some security thing or something, but it would not let me get in. And Dan, who was at my birthday as well, he messaged me, said, hey, have you seen this? Because I've complained on here before about wanting those Snake Men.
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah, I can't get in. And so him and Glenn have bought me that. But because it's going to be a little while before that rocks up, he's just given me his version. So I have the Snake Men in my hands as well.
All right, so we have to play that again too.
Yes, we have many games on the horizon, my friend.
There are several.
All
right, this is good.
All right, continuing on. One more game. So, aforementioned Alice did buy me the Batman Who Laughs for the Batman DC miniatures game set. So I have that to put together. It is very much a Night Models set, so it's going to need a bit of cleaning up and stuff before I start sticking them all together. But I have that, and that's a full team apparently. So I have that as well. And then lastly, let's finish this off. It's been long enough. I have been looking at ways of keeping myself hobbying a bit. The hobby train has definitely lost traction with me over the last X amount of months. So I was looking into ways that I could keep myself at my painting desk without forcing myself, if that makes sense. And I decided on
a flashlight.
No.
Okay,
just a bondage kit will do the same thing.
Yeah, I was about to say, just stick it under the desk and keep you right there for at least 3 minutes.
I subscribe to Warhammer TV. So I looked at it for a little while and I thought, okay, there's no app on the TV or on Xbox or anything that I can use for it. So that's what's held me off in the past. But I looked into it, and everywhere that I read said pretty much the only way you can get it onto your TV is Chromecast.
Yep.
And I had been given a couple of vouchers for my birthday, so Chromecast wasn't very much, and I thought I can get a bit of use out of that. So I went ahead at lunchtime, bought myself one of those, and then signed up for Warhammer TV, and then set up the Chromecast and all that sort of stuff. And then tried to log into Warhammer TV through the Chromecast, and it said app not recognized. And then I looked into it further, and apparently it's something to do with some Android. It's conflicting with Android systems at the moment, and GW are apparently looking into it.
Oh, great.
And so that pissed me off a little bit.
I mean, it's the GW looking into it, that fills you with faith, right?
I know, right? That's sometime in the next 4,000 years it may happen. it may not. It's 50-50, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I was like, well, okay, at least I've got my Netflix and my Prime and YouTube and everything all in one place. And I started off, I think I christened it with watching one of Clinton's YouTube videos and playing around with it a bit that way. But then realized that I can just cast from the computer or the phone.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched their Blood Bowl game that they had on there, and I watched their lore on Blood Bowl and lore on Abaddon and Mortera.
All right,
and
so you've got the Warhammer TV app on your phone, and you're just bouncing that through the Chromecast to the TV. Right, I'm with you now. Yeah,
it's even a website, or just I found it.
Yeah.
I did it last night through the phone, and then I just thought I can just do it through the laptop, and that was actually worked better this afternoon. So
great.
So now I got stuff to potentially have on in the background, and hopefully get my painting a little bit better. I can watch some of the GW things and then switch over to YouTube and watch decent painters do it. So,
is there much? I haven't even considered looking at Warhammer TV. Is there much there?
Not an awful lot, let's be honest.
Okay.
Like there are a number of animated shows, and there's like episodes in the shows. It was like the one I started today, I think had about 8 or 10 episodes or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, it's halfway decent, but then again, I had it on background while I was painting, so I wasn't paying an awful lot of attention. But I did watch the Blood Bowl game that they did, and the Blood Bowl basing video that went up in the last couple of days. That was really cool.
Okay.
Some really interesting sort of basing ideas. There's a series called Lore Masters, which just goes into detail about the lore behind certain characters or legions or whatever it is. There was a Blood Bowl one added to that, which was awesome. And there was something else that I was interested in. There's a couple of videos that I haven't looked at yet, but they're how to play videos. And there's a Kill Team one on there. So I'm going to chuck that on at
do that.
some time in the future. And
somebody will know. Yeah, let's...
I mean, surely GW themselves can tell me how to play their game.
I mean, if they can read their rules.
Yeah, well, there is that. But that's it.
That'll do.
That's like 20 episodes worth of new stuff. I'm sure I've forgotten stuff too.
Great.
What about hobby? This is where your speaking time is going to eclipse mine.
Look, maybe. In that, I'm trying, again, it's been a little bit since the last episode, but it hasn't been forever. And I haven't had that much of a chance. So let's do the thing that I have, even with the reduced build space, I have been giving the printer a little bit of work, nowhere near the work that it would normally get. So I have done a couple of Blood Bowl 7 steams, and I'm now at the point where I'm just printing the 7 steam. I'm not even printing the extras in most cases, because I'm I'm doing the positionals I may want to use. And then linemen to fill, and that is it. You allow for a couple of journeymen, but that's about as exciting as I get. So I have done a Khemri team that is never going to see gameplay, let's be honest. But I also did an Elven Union team that I'm a little bit excited about the idea of. So that is in my future for sure.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
I have thoughts about Elven Union. I think that they must be wonderful. In my head, they are wonderful. Anywho, so we did an Elven Union team. I have banged out a lot of Warmaster, so 10 mil scale, mainly Tzeentch demons.
Lovely.
So there is a lot of teeny tiny demons, with the hope that they're going to be pretty quick to get painted. like they're demons. They're 90% demon flesh.
Just
And
colour.
then, yeah.
Plenty of colour. Lots of blues and yellows and pinks and
And
stuff.
pinks
and
and
that's it.
purples and greens, and I don't even have to make sure that they stay in the lines, and that's kind of the hope, right? So there is a box of them sitting, like a little kid-size shoebox sitting
Excellent.
of 10 mil each. There was a while back a bit of a little Facebook chat group, just locals talking about just trying to, again, increase hobby, just paint and increase painting specifically, not for games, just for the sake of painting, and give each other feedback and things like that. And as all of these things do, they get excited, and we all do something for the first month, and then it dies in the ass. But every once in a while, somebody reposts something in there going, hey, we should do a thing. And someone found a really funky little model that is like a raccoon riding a frog. And he's adorable. It's cool. I'll flick you a link. He's glorious. He's smoking a little bamboo pipe thing, and he's riding his little frog steed. It's glorious. So he got printed because
a potential Burrows and Badgers type thing, or is it just
I printed it way too big for Burrows and Badgers because I want to just do things with it. I'm not 100% sure what things yet, but so he got done.
Hopefully,
and he's now
painting's one of those things.
Well, that is, but
we're not back on the fleshlight conversation, are we?
Wow, I could hollow him out. The problem is he's not currently started, so he is concept, but he probably isn't going to get painted in the next month at least. There has been a little bit of, speaking of Burrows and Badgers, a few little bits and pieces for Burrows and Badgers. And I've done a little bit of a hunt on sculptors and things that do appropriate models, which has been fun as well. So I went a little bit of a rabbit hole, search for sculptors we could use for Burrows and Badgers stuff. And that's probably pretty close to it. As I said, I've been a little bit slack on the printing front, mainly because I have realised that I am just contributing to the pile of grey.
Yep. Which is exactly my worry about it, if I get one or not.
Yeah, it's a problem because I'm at least getting a couple of Blood Bowl teams a month, and I'm not painting a couple of Blood Bowl teams a month.
No, you're definitely not using them.
Anything else is just excess of that, so it's tough, but it's very handy. So we'll see. There's some stuff to do, but my actual hobby doing things, I suppose, two parts to that. One is I ran out of space in my cabinets again. So I had to go and add extra shelves to my display cabinets. So I figure that counts as hobby.
Yep. Reorganization, yes.
Yeah, so I put another 4 or 5 shelves in, and now I actually have space to put more models, which is glorious. They're
so you can print more off.
Ones. Yeah, exactly. But no, so the problem with the cabinets is I'm only putting painted stuff in them. So printing doesn't help.
Fair. Okay, good.
Finishing stuff helps, but it's only fully painted stuff that goes in there. So, but I'd run out of room again, and this now gives me an opportunity to sort of split up game systems, so I can have Blood Bowl on shelves, 2 and 3 and 4, and Marvel on one, and then whatever else on another. It keeps it a little bit nice and neat and organized and spread out because everything was getting a bit crowded. But then with all this talk of Kill Team, that has probably been the thing I've been actually spending painting hobby time on. So I thought this was a really good opportunity to paint Space Marines, which are kind of fun to paint. It's disappointing.
Are they?
Yeah.
Really?
They're great fun. It's annoyingly fun to paint.
I remember why I have a whole heap of Chaos Marines from 20 years ago that are still mainly undercoated. And it's because I got so bored painting the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, so they are not fun to paint if you're painting an army, but if you're painting 1 or 5 or 6 of them,
Okay,
Great.
maybe that's the difference.
Yeah. If you're painting a Space Marine, they're fun models to paint. If you're painting 100 Space Marines, no, you might as well just cut your hands off now. So, kill team, a Space Marine kill team is 6 models.
Mm-hmm.
I can paint 6 Space Marines. And so what I've done is I had, and by I mean, I'm pretty sure I just stole off people Space Marine intercessors, the assault ones, the ones with the chainswords.
Yep.
Half a dozen of them off people, and I threw them all together, and I went, "What color am I going to paint them?" Because here's the Space Marine problem.
Yes.
And I went, you know what would be fun, like a
White.
Legion of the Damned.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I have probably about 30 Legion of the Damned models because I love the look of them so much.
The old, like, sculpted metal ones? Yeah.
So about half of them are metal and then half of them are sort of resin that they put out shortly after that.
Glorious. Yeah, they were classics, right?
Yeah.
And here was my thinking. They're Primaris, so they're new ones, so they're not going to be full Legion. Like they're kind of the new recruits to the Legion, right? So because I couldn't be asked working out how to sculpt or get bone things on them, like nah. And then the $1 million question is: do you try and freehand flames? And I thought about that for a significant amount of time. And I spent a lot of time working out how I would do that. And then I went, no, this came silly. I just want to get these done at some point. So I bust out the green stuff. And now we've got 3D flames. And so I painted up one basically finished. So he's now done. Everyone is assembled. They have their flames. They're sort of all undercoated and base coated. And then I did one to finish to sort of as a test one.
Mm-hmm.
And I've started on the other 5 now, but they're coming together pretty quickly. They're fun. It lets me play with all my favorite tricks between airbrush, between fluoros, oils. Like it has all of the little sneaky tricks that just pull shit together really well.
And there's only 5 of them to do.
And there's only 5. Great. I can get them done. This is good news for me. And then it'll be something else to throw in the cabinet, which is glorious.
Excellent. But fill that thing up.
That has been the lion's share of my actual sit down hobby time, has been just trying to work out how the hell I'm going to paint Space Marines for the next little bit.
No, that's fair. I've also been working on my kill team. So having bought the orcs, I realized that I'd already painted one of these ages ago for a Paint It Pink episode that we did. So I have one orc who I was very happy with, who is wearing full pink camo.
I remember him.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I thought, well, I'll just do the rest of them like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then I realized that, I've got 2 squads in a kill team. So I'm going to have one squad of pink and one squad of purple. Simply because I have pink flowers that I can put on the bases and I have purple flowers that I can put on the bases.
This is basically like destiny has called you.
I know, right? I know. So I've actually been doing some painting on them, which is good. So I did basically, slap chop, did the undercoating, did the dry brushing. I've, done the orc flesh contrast over all the flesh. I've done the purple contrast over the purple guys. I've done the pink contrast over the pink guys. I've done all the backpacks. And I've started highlighting up the orc flesh today. So I've done highlights on and layers on, what have we got? I've got 8 of them to do. I've done it on 5 of them so far. So then we'll just start on the camo, and then it's just all the bits and pieces after that. Because they've got so much stuff. They've got backpacks with bedrolls and various.
Because they're the commando-y ones, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
They're all got all their stuff.
They're carrying everything. So lots of stuff on them to do, but
they're like those jerks that show up in a plane with carry-on only.
Yes.
Carry-on is like huge and there's stuff falling out all over the place and it won't fit in the overhead locker. And anyway, don't be that person.
that's them. That's them in a nutshell. So that's what I've been working on.
Inconsiderate travellers. That's who you wrote us.
I think we have a kill team name.
Oh, that's glorious.
But yes, that's been my hobby. But I've gone from a black undercoat to 8 models that are sort of, maybe a third of the way there already, which is huge for me at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I have done one of the aliens from Another Day in the Core, and I've sort of gotten another 7 of those to a certain point, but that's just been really quick and dry brush, under contrast, and then black wash. So that one that I finished was not an awful lot of effort. So the effort that I've put on these guys in the last couple of days especially has been great. It was good. We had a sort of a discard. I've been playing too much Marvel Snap. We had a Discord hobby meetup the other day, which is one that we've been talking about for ages, but you finally pulled the plug on it, which was great. And I got quite a bit done that night. So
yeah, I did well, and it was great. We had sort of half a dozen people on at any given time for a couple of hours of the evening. People just ticking away at different projects and talking garbage and all that kind of fun. And it just kind of kept me at the desk for a little bit longer than it would normally.
Yeah.
You get to talk some shit with some wonderful people. So I have to do some more of them. I think a few people said that it was good and got them painting when they probably would have procrastinated around it and not.
Yep.
So
yep, definitely for me on that one. So yes, I think we should make this a bit more of a regular thing.
So let's do that.
Done. All right. Have we talked all the hobby?
We have talked all of the hobby.
All right. Not too much more to talk about tonight. A couple of things we want to get past, but we'll keep this nice and short for first episode back after a while. I did want to talk quickly about Throw the Dice.
Yes.
So if you've listened to any of our episodes, you've probably heard Throw the Dice or the Nerd Fairy talked about. It's our local gaming shop. It's the one where we play our leagues, and we've had a number of tournaments held there. Rich has always been accommodating for us and helping us do the things that we wanted to do in his space.
It has been a veritable oasis in the desert that is the Geelong region. That's been glorious for us to be able to just go and hang out every Monday night and play some Blood Bowl, and basically whenever else we want, and run events. And it's always it's nice to rock up, and it's a welcoming place that's easy to get into, and you don't have to clean packets of shit off the tables before you try and run up a game, and the clientele are all mature enough to hold a conversation. It's the best.
Yeah, it is. It's like even playing so Rich made his name around Geelong basically doing Warhammer fantasy tournaments. That was pretty much where he cut his mustard, I suppose. And went from that to opening a very small store. Even playing then, like, it was just such an awesome, fun experience, even with your ass to the wall or to some other guy.
Yeah.
But the place he's moved into a couple of years ago now, it's been a while, is a beautiful, beautiful place to play. If you've been to one of our tournaments, or if you're in the league, or you've played around Geelong, you've been there or probably know of it, and it's just a wonderful little place to play. And we really appreciate everything that Rich has done, not only for the store, but for the community in general.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, it is all coming to an end. So Throw the Dice will be closing their doors at some point in the near future and turning themselves into an online retailer. So I urge you guys, if you have something you want to get, if you want to get some games in, get in quick. Give Rich a
Soak
bit
it
of
up.
business. Enjoy the atmosphere for what it is, because it is head and shoulders above any other store that you can play at in Geelong. As far as atmosphere, as far as enthusiasm from the owner, all that sort of stuff. If it's not an if, but when Rich closes the doors, it will be a bit of a sad time. But let's show him out with a bang.
I think there's a few parts in that. So I mean, Throw the Dice is planning on closing the shop front because, frankly, shop fronts are expensive to run, right? You add this day and age into all that mix and a very niche retail business. Yeah, I get it. It sucks, but I absolutely get it. But he's absolutely planning on keeping Throw the Dice running as an online business, as potentially a bit of a social media presence, as events, so that it's not going away is the major takeaway from this one, even if there isn't going to be a lovely freshly vacuumed store for us to go into that stocks Bundaberg lemonade, which is great. The other half of that is he doesn't want to have to move all his stock out of the store.
Yes.
So he is absolutely clearing stock, and there is absolutely, I think at the moment, it's a blanket 30% discount on everything he has in stock.
Yep.
That's a lot.
That's huge, people. Huge. So jump in as soon as you can. Make the most of it. As soon as somebody takes over that lease, he is done.
Yes. And don't make the mistake I did of being like, oh, I want all these things, but I won't get them tonight. I'm back next week. I'll get them then. And you come back next week and some other bastard bought all the shit you wanted. There was 3 or 4 things where I'm like, no, I've spent enough tonight. I'm going to just walk away and we'll come back and we'll do this next week. And then shit wasn't there next week. And I was an angry little camper.
I picked up recently a couple of Vallejo paintbrushes, and I've been loving them. And that's what I've been using for these orcs. I've been absolutely loving them, and they were cheap as anything.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a couple of packets, and I was like, oh, I'll grab a couple more just as backups. And yeah, they're gone.
Nope. No.
But moral of this story: throw the dice. Rich, we appreciate everything you've done as the Nerd Fairy for Geelong and for us in particular. We obviously will continue to support you when you go online only. But it is a sad day, people. So get in and give him a bit of support while you still can.
Yeah, and I think, as far as games and everything goes, there is a lot of talk about what's going to happen and where communities are going to play and how we're going to all do that. I think that's still got to get a little bit of working outs to do, but there are a lot of people thinking about it. If you are one of those people and you want to think about it with a collective group, that wouldn't be a bad thing either. And if you're somebody going, oh, shit, I've got a place that people could play lots of games at, why aren't we do there? Speak. Because we're looking for options, right? There is options, but more options is always more good.
Yeah, we've got a 21-player Blood Bowl league we need to potentially resituate in the near future. So yeah, but get in, give the love and support while you can, and kudos to the Nerd Fairy for everything he's done.
Mate. It's been an epic little place. So yeah, it's sad, but it's been great, and it's going to keep kicking on and doing great things.
Yes. All right. So shall we wrap it up with a bit of what's on?
What is on? Because there are things on.
There are things on. Most importantly is that a certain Geelong-based, very, very average podcast has decided to put on another painting event.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
It is a very self-serving painting event, by the way.
Yes, it definitely is. So we've avoided the paint it pink, paint it brown, paint it whatever color thing that we've done in the past. And this one is finish something.
Yeah. I do have to give full credit to Ant for the concept.
Yep.
which I shamelessly stole when he suggested it. I'm like, that is too good of an idea not to go with, because I have a lot of, and I'm sure I'm not the only person here. I have a lot of things that I have partially done or almost completed. And there's a lot of stuff that doesn't quite make it to the display cabinets for me because it's not quite done. And so there is not only the pile of grey shame, but there is the pile of multicolored shame because it's not good enough to get in the cabinet. So the idea with this is pick up that project that you nearly did. You sort of got halfway through. That can be a model. It can be a squad. It can be a whole goddamn army for a game. It could be a terrain piece or a diorama. I don't care what it is, right? But if you started something and then it some way got distracted and it never quite got finished, and you've always meant to go back to it, here is the chance just to go, fuck it, I'm going back to it, and we're going to knock this cat on the head, and get her done.
And this is the opportunity. I mean, we're always trying to promote a bit of hobby and promote people to all our paint events are to get people doing a bit of hobby and having a bit of fun with it. But this is the opportunity to finish that thing that you started months and months and months ago, which because I have so many.
I have drawers. It's terrifying. But I also find so that the good one for me here is something that motivates me to hobby, and I assume this is not just a me thing, is actually finishing a project. Mm-hmm. And so having a whole bunch of half-done things is actually a bit of a drain on the old enthusiasm, right? But also they're already half done, so you have to do half the work to get all of the reward of finishing something. And if there's something I like doing, it's half the work.
Yes. I mean, I'm sitting here with 2 or 3 different Blood Bowl teams that are halfway through, and I haven't quite gotten the result that I was wanting at the time, and so they've gone to the side, and various other bits and pieces. But I've pledged a Gwenpool, which has been sitting here half painted for God knows how long, and I'm going to get it done.
Do you know how many things I just have to do bases for?
All of them?
So many things.
I didn't think bases counted for you.
Well, they don't until there's a reward for it. And I get to say it's finished and say, look, here is a project I started and now it's finished. I said it was finished before because the bases didn't count, but now the bases count. So I can finish it a second time.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. So I'm pumped. So basically you've got, to the end of March?
Yep. End of March. Post a picture of it in its half-done state or whatever state you got it to. Yeah. And then post a picture of it done. Yeah. And feel accomplished and proud of yourselves.
This is it. And so it is not again, like all of the ones that we've done, it is not a painting competition. It is an excuse to get some stuff done and to show off a little bit and to share the work that you've done and for us to gloat and gush and generally talk about how wonderful all this stuff is. And a couple of things that amuse us or inspire us or we think are great for whatever reason. We'll do some prizes for after that episode, but that's the criteria, right? There's no competition, there's no pressure, there is no judgment, and that's a big part of what we're trying to promote with the hobby is just actually doing hobby is good. Do some, share it. It gets other people doing stuff. This is a bit of a human centipede of hobby.
Yes, and potentially win prizes.
Sure.
That have got nothing to do with human centipedes.
We're shopping differently. I see what's happened here. This is why you have control of the funds. I see what's happened.
I don't know. Can we get somebody to 3D sculpt a human centipede model? And
there's already going to be one out there. I guarantee it. It's So look, that's a whole concept. We are already getting questions around what does, started? What is our definition of?
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, started is up to the person. If you started it and undercoded it ages ago and didn't finish it, and you consider that started, sure. As far as what I'm going to give more kudos to is models that, like Gwenpool, have been sitting here half done.
Yeah.
And are actually things that I would not pick up because I'm doing kill team. I've got my aliens to do. I've barely touched my vampire team.
My attention has wandered.
Yes.
But I mean, it again, a bit loosey-goosey of a definition, because if you've been painting, let's say you've been painting a squad of dudes and you've done 5 of the 10 of them, painting the other 5 is finishing the squad. That counts, absolutely. If you had been building an army for something and you get the bastard finished in the next 2 months, sure, that is a finished project. So it is, we're not here to police the world. We'll probably rip shit on people who take the piss. But that's what we're here for, really.
We do that normally.
Yeah. But just take something that you've been meaning to finish for the last however long and finish the damn thing and feel good about yourself.
Exactly. So all the details for that are in the Discord, and also we have a Facebook event if anyone uses Facebook anymore.
It's there.
It's there.
It is there.
All right. Speaking of events, DP. We have decided, especially with the uncertainty behind Throw the Dice and whether it'll still be there and whether we have to find a last-minute replacement venue.
So that was our venue planned. It is, look, still would have been, but we're just unsure. It may be there, it may not. We might have to guess, we might not. A little bit of competition, and not competition, but there are another couple of Blood Bowl events at very close proximity. And understanding that it is very hard, with families and lives and stuff, to get subsequent leave passes. So, I think we're going to have to be a little bit careful in the calendar, because it is chockers. The Blood Bowl events calendar is a bit full.
Yes.
So
it is a good time to be a Blood Bowl player.
Oh, it's fantastic. There is so much on. But a little bit of, people had to choose, and it's always hard choosing a favorite child. So we didn't want to make that harder for anyone else. So between all of those things, we said, look, this is maybe not the best time for us to run something. Let us just call it now, not do DP right now, and instead put the time and effort and energy into something that we know people are going to really prioritize and have time for and look forward to and stuff, rather than feel guilty that they couldn't make it because they had something else on.
Exactly. So all the effort and energy that we would be spending organizing DP is now going to go into Thoughtless Bowl for the middle of the year. For those people that have bought tickets, I've sent a general message out, but you are more than welcome to roll your ticket over to Thoughtless Bowl if that's what you want. I want to sort of try and confirm a date before I ask people for sure if they want to do that or if they just want a refund. I'm happy for either. If you want to message me and say, I bought a ticket, but I want a refund, no problems.
Cool.
I'll do that straight away. Once we have a date, I'll put that up and we'll say, right, anyone that wants to roll it over, no problems. Otherwise, if for whatever reason you can't make that date or you don't want to, send me your bank details and I'll refund straight away for you. But Thoughtless Bowl will be a thing, and with any luck, it'll be a big thing for us.
I like big things, and I cannot lie.
Oh, you do.
My kid, no.
I've heard the rumors. I know I don't satisfy you anymore.
A hot dog in a hallway. What can I say?
Yeah, anything else you want to bring up?
No, we need to stop talking now.
All right, yeah, no, we've done enough dick jokes for the night. Thank you very much for listening. We have a number of episodes in the pipeline, ideas. We just need to sit down and record them all. But we have plenty of ideas, so there's plenty of topics to come, plenty of episodes to come, and it's just a matter of making sure that we book in the time, which we will do, because one of us is starting to be a bit more lenient. Lenient? No. I'm starting to have a bit more time where I can do this sort of stuff. So, thank you again for listening. Give us a follow. Facebook, Spotify, Twitch, Podbean, OnlyFans, Pornhub, RedTube. What are the rest of them?
Anyway. I mean, we are now a feature of the dark web. What can I say?
Are we?
No, I don't know.
No, nobody's going to go that far. As always, thank you very much to our Patreons, those lovely people that help support us and for some reason encourage us to do this sort of shit. Still not sure why, but thank you, all of you guys. If you want to become a Patreon and feel like giving us a couple of bucks a month, we will put that money straight back into prizes and stuff for the community as much as we can. But thank you, as always, to our thoughtless Patreons, the highest level, Alice, Archie, Luke, Clinton, Gertzie, Jared, Kingsley, and Yuri. Thank you, guys. And that's it from me.
Yeah, I'm still bamboozled by that list.
Yes.
I'm done.
Yes. Well, I wasn't going to say Archie twice, but
I thought about it. Yeah.
So, anyway, that's it from me. Laters.
Gotcha.
Thoughtless, casual gaming. Thoughtless, casual gaming. Thoughtless, casual gaming. Thoughtless, casual gaming. It's hard to say if it's hard to play when you don't know the rules of the game. Roll the dice with bad advice. The outcome is always the same. So let's casual gaming. So let's